Yeah, 100%. Who's your guys' like inspiration for podcasting?
Mine personally was Joe Budden. He is a previous rapper from Bad Meets Evil and Slaughterhouse. So he was like under the Shady Records, but then branched out from there, retired the rap game and started a podcast, and then talked all about urban pop culture, heavily invested with the music scene in general, and just like all random news that happens around those kind of environments and shit, man. So I fell in love with that about 2-3 years ago, and I've always wanted to do a podcast ever since, listening to that, but I just didn't know where to start. Ran it by these guys, they checked out a few episodes and kind of fell in love with the same thing, and yeah, I guess that was probably one of the biggest influences. And then I'd say probably Joe Rogan as well. So Joe Rogan was another one that just, he stood out different in the podcast world, whereas like you could have one category and talk about that and that's your podcast, whereas and these guys broke the barrier, broke out of the box, however you want to go about it, but it made me realize like we could fucking do that, man. And there's not a lot of people that are doing that here in Australia, let alone Perth alone, you know, like, since the Backstreet Boys reunion tour started last year, a lot of people have been trying these things, right? Which is dope, because people are actually realizing I don't have to do this Monday to Friday fucking 9 to 5 shit, man. Like, if you actually invest in something that you give a shit about, you could turn it into your job, you know? Like, and that's what we want to do with this. So long story short, man, that was where my vision was, bro.
That's gangster.
Yeah, sir.
Chris, yours?
Oh God, I have a whole variety of podcasts I listen to. Top 2? Oh God.
Every time we ask him what's his favourite, it's like, I don't know.
You put me on the spot.
He's like, McDonald's menu. Oh shit, sorry. Can't talk about food right now.
Obviously, like Joe Rogan is a big one. Like he's an OG in the podcast world, and just the variety of the guests that he has on. He doesn't talk about one thing. It's just he gets everyone and anyone and everyone on, you know. And I love that, and that's really cool. Like you get a massive variety of taste and flavors.
As long as he's not talking about politics or like that Backstreet Boys reunion, man.
Yeah,
like,
true.
I'm happy to listen to it. But man, I got off the podcast just because he was just talking about all of these politics, and I was like, didn't know any of them. I'm like, I'm so sick of this, man. Like,
Trump gets brought up a lot, or it did.
It was. I don't know what it's like now because I haven't listened for like 6 months. But like back in the day when the elections were going on, I was like, I can't handle this, man.
Yeah, it was brought up a lot.
Every episode felt the same for like a period of time, man. And it was just like, fuck this. I came to get away from that kind of shit. You know, seriously, but
I came for a laugh. You know what I mean?
You know, exactly, 100%, man. Sorry to cut you off, Chris, bro.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of paranormal and like UFO podcasts as well. And one of my favorite podcasts is Somewhere in the Skies, hosted by Ryan Sprague. He delves into the big issues and situations and all the info that's released, new and old, on the UFO aerial phenomena. And I'm completely immersed in it. I love that subject. And he gets into the nitty and gritty of all of it, and he gets a massive variety of people that are involved with the subject and the topic around the world. And it's just really informative and really interesting.
The cool thing about that podcast too, bro, is like you don't actually have to be invested with extraterrestrial or the history behind it, man. But being someone that's like sort of familiar with it, but at the same time not, you can pick up on what's going on and what they're trying to explain. Like, so it's not a complex or a complicated way of explaining shit. So it's like, that's why I love about that podcast especially, man, because it's like, it gets you wanting to know more, even if you never really gave a shit about it previously. You know what I mean? Like, it's dope, man. It's sick.
And if I could throw one more in, it'd probably be another podcast called Into the Fray, hosted by Shannon LeGros. She lives in Las Vegas, and she gets a lot of people calling in, telling like their paranormal stories.
Right.
But the cool thing is you get the personal experience from these people that call up, and you kind of feel what they feel when they go through these things that they've seen and witnessed and all that sort of stuff, and just sharing these creepy stories I find fascinating. So that'll be my personal view on it. So
hell yeah,
my inspirations, I guess. Yeah. Well, some of them anyway. What about you, Ray? What are your top picks?
Well, my top 2, you guys have already mentioned, is obviously Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Like, just I think what I grabbed most from it is just the variety that he has.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I liked about it, and just how it's just so chill. It's not really a like, hey, so what's your name? How do you spell your last name? Did you steal it from me? No, like it's none of that stupid shit. Like it's not an interview, you know, like a podcast. And it's just so varied. And I really like when you were mentioning you've done a lot of like self-development and stuff like that, a lot of reading and stuff like that stuff that excites me.
Yeah.
And so when he has people on like, I forget the guy. He's a psychologist. He's quite controversial.
Dr. Phil. He has had him
Going
on
to
there,
the
though.
ranch. I can't remember the guy's name. Something Peters, I think.
Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I really like how he views things. Like some stuff I don't agree with, but like just how he's not very emotional in what he says. I really like logic, and so I resonate with like his just straight, blunt kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He's had. There's this Jewish guy. I can't even remember it. I'm horrible with names today.
I know who. His name is very controversial.
He's very controversial.
Very. I don't want to say the.
He
wrong
sounds
thing.
like a dork. Like he's very like he.
What's his name, Jake? You should know this, man. I know who you're
cool,
talking
right
about.
to
it,
It's on the tip of my tongue. Jesus.
I don't know. Anyways,
Yes.
the other podcast I listen to is The School of Greatness by Lewis Howes.
Ben Shapiro.
Ben Shapiro, yeah.
Ben Shapiro, yeah.
Is he a comedian?
No.
No,
That's like a comedian name.
I think you're thinking of Dave Chappelle.
Nah.
Ben Chappelle. Hey.
No, Ben Shapiro. Yeah, he's got his own like talk show and stuff like that.
Interesting.
And he's very. He debates a lot.
Yes, big
and
time.
he's very, very controversial. He does not shy away from delicate topics, but he doesn't, in the sense like he doesn't shy away from it in a disrespectful way. He's just talking completely from logic.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he's you can see he's a very logical brained person, like very unemotional in his responses as well. But at the same time, like he always backs it up with like, hey, I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just using logic. I'm not trying to better the like follow your agenda just because you want to feel better, like
Yeah.
kind of thing. Like I'm just trying to tackle it with logic here. This is my view. And he always says, you know, if you want to be viewed this way and you want your point of view viewed that way, is that. Lewis Howes, I got onto him. I can't actually remember how I got onto him, but his podcast is, I've been listening to him for freaking years, since I was like 21, 22.
Yeah.
And he gets on a variety of different guests that will talk about health, or they'll talk about mindsets or relationships and stuff like that as well. And I've just really admired like how he gets very, very cool stuff, very cool people on very cool topics. I think why I really stuck with his is because there would always be an episode that resonated with me, especially through tough times.
Yeah.
And it would always help me look at things in different ways. And that's, I guess, my inspiration with this, with Dudes Around Tables, to try and bring that to the table as well.
Yeah.
Bring it to the table. Yeah, so those are mine.
Yeah, and we love the human aspect of stories. You know, we love, you know, not to get too personal unless the guest wants to get personal. There's been many people that have come on the show where they've, you know, really expressed themselves and let themselves be vulnerable and talk about stuff they've
We're
gone
yet to
through.
make someone cry.
We have.
Oh,
Huh?
we have.
yeah.
We've done it with we've done it with two people.
Paulie.
I've come close a couple of times on a few subjects, but that's the thing I love the most, is just really seeing people feel open to being vulnerable and sharing. I love that, and just sharing human emotion and within the stories and learning people's stories is a big deal for me, and I love that, and I can't wait to do more of that on this show. So
Yeah, that's a sick thing to definitely strive for, you know. And it's such a easy thing to do, like in terms of not easy thing to do, but it's such a fun thing to do. You know what I mean? Like it's not a drag, you know.
No,
like, it's,
absolutely.
And I think it's the best way to connect with other humans too,
Yeah.
is to share stories and feel the emotion that is portrayed through stories and sharing things. And yeah, I think it's a big deal, and I love doing that and love being a part of that and experiencing that. So
yeah, I think it's like, it's funny because as soon as podcast came out, I honestly thought, I was like, that's never going to take off. Who the fuck is going to listen to someone talk?
Yeah, 100%, bro.
And then like it started just building and building and building. I'm like, when's this thing gonna slow down, man? And then like all of a sudden it's like the biggest, like it's one of the biggest multimedia kind of like you know, expressions of, you know, content.
Yep.
It's crazy.
100%.
You can talk about whatever you want.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I feel like too with us, especially like where we're trying to take it, I couldn't agree more with Chris with how he wants to go about the podcast. But we've all got the same similar vision. It's like basically when you listen to a podcast, and especially about any specific topic, but it takes you in your own made up story. Do you know what I mean? And I love that kind of way of life where you can visualize you being in their scenario. Like you've probably never even been in that situation before, like whether it be a bank robbery or something or whatever, you know, but like to have that in a conversation and then hear people's feedback by saying, fuck man, you took me on a journey. And it's like the same thing with music, bro, but that's what I get out of this, you know, and that's what we hope to give the guests when they're on the show, where they're expressing themselves and then they they dig deep into their thoughts of what they're sharing and like forgot shit that have happened to them, but then they reopen because they're like
Like
so,
the Battle of the Bands or whatever.
100%, bro. But that, you know what I mean? Like Chris said, people can be vulnerable in a comfortable way and it's like a safe zone for them, but at the same time, it's like they're talking about stuff that they never actually thought they would express ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's dope, man. Like I love the fact that that's what we're doing with this and that's where we want to take it and not just be categorized as one genre.
Yeah.
With the actual podcast itself, man. And, you know, we got a lot of big things that we want to obviously mention soon, but we'll probably talk to you about after the actual podcast where we want to take it. But yeah, man, like we want to really take it to that next level, step it out of a comfort zone that the podcast world is labeled as or set as, you know, bro. So
Dudes of the round table.
it's so stoked to have people like that we know in our lives do stuff like that for us out of just pure love and heart. Like it's just
And we still got more stuff coming apparently, Chris. We've got like 3D printed shit coming our way, and
Yeah, we're surrounded by a great community of friends and artists. You know, we've done
and listeners, don't forget the
pretty
listeners.
cool stuff. Oh hell yeah,
Yeah.
the listeners, man.
Shout out to listeners, appreciate you.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, so
Times.
like we were saying before, but man, the platform we're trying to take is
Sorry.
something different, but at the same time, it's nothing that's too over the top, bro. You know, so it's just we want it so it takes you away from the normal mundane lifestyle that some people may be dealing with or live with. You know, so
if you need to escape, you chuck your headphones on and have a listen.
to the dudes around town.
Yeah, 100%.
You might learn something. You might just discover something.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's the powerful thing about the podcast, right? So like I use podcasts in two environments. I'll go on there to learn and listen and like, okay, actually develop myself. And then sometimes I might be having a super stressful day or whatever. And I'm like, dude, I just need to switch off right now.
Yep.
I just need someone to talk about some stupid shit to take me out of my own mind. You
Yep,
know? Because like,
absolutely.
I'm too in depth with this whatever I got going on.
Yeah.
I need to talk about aliens. You know what I mean? Like I just need to get out and to a normal conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I agree 100% with everything you just said then. So I feel the same way about podcasts.
Yeah, it's like
Sure.
you can use them in like you use them as weapons, like tools, right? You're like,
Yeah.
all right, cool. Like today, I want to feel like this. I'm going to listen to this person, you know, or I want to be educated. I want to improve myself. I'm going to listen to this person. So that's a
Absolutely,
sick
man.
thing.
Yep.
Hell yeah, bro.
Yep.
Speaking of that, what do you reckon?
Are we there, are we?
Yes,
We're there. Luke's like, what's happening?
I was like,
This is the part of the podcast where we will
brain's
take our
dialing up
clothes
again.
off. No.
did you hear about this?
Righto. Luke. I love to ask every guest that comes on this show. You've probably listened to a couple episodes and probably gone, okay, I know where we are right now. In
He's
the
cut off
podcast.
before this part every single time.
Get out! No. But no, all seriousness. Have you ever had a paranormal experience, or have you had an experience where you may have seen something in the sky, where you've seen something going, hang on, that's not a conventional aircraft, what is that? Have you seen something that you couldn't explain?
What
or
are those?
Experienced something that you couldn't explain?
Pointing like.
Not particularly myself. Like, are you talking about UFOs or like ghosts? Can I talk about ghosts?
Absolutely,
All the
man.
above, mate. All the above.
So I guess it's like more about ghosts for me, like literally footsteps running back and forth, like all that sort
That's
of.
Bishop.
I swear,
It
I can
is
hear
right
someone
now.
right now. Nah, but
Sorry.
apart from that, man, like nothing too hectic. Like, there was now I fucking just remembered. There was something on Kentucky tour. I remember when I was on a boat. But that's right. I was on a boat in a Kentucky, and I was hung over, and I was in the top bunk of what do you call those things? Like a bunk bed? Yeah,
Bunk bed?
bunk
Yeah.
bed.
Like yeah.
A bunk bed. And
Yeah.
I remember I was hung over, and I was looking at like this vent, and I don't know, I saw a face like was staring at me, and then it moved off. But like apart from that, like I've got nothing. But that was pretty full on.
That's
I remember.
weird.
That was on a boat.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Wait,
I was hung over, and I was like, there's like this vent like on this boat, and like I just saw someone looking at me, and then it like walked off, kind of thing. So,
Yeah, right.
yeah, it was. I was pretty hungover. I mean, it sounds like it's fucking. There's a trend in what I'm talking about.
Still drunk?
But I just was like, fuck. like, I was talking to Britt. Britt was next to me, like this girl, Britt. And I was like, Britt, did you fucking see that? She was like, no. And I was like, fuck. I was like, we got to get the fuck out of here.
They're on the wrong boat.
Yeah, it was probably the captain, like, fucking hell. Like, get off my boat.
Curving on his guests in the
But
cabins. Like, what the fuck?
The latest thing was, we were at my mate's apartment. You know Jake Coombs? Do you know Jake
Yes.
Coombs? Yeah, we were at Jake Coombs' apartment in Burswood. And it was so funny, man. We were like out on the balcony, right? And we were having drinks and stuff. And like there's this average standard looking plane just driving along over the city. And he's like dead set that this thing's a UFO, man. He was like, oh my God, bro, look at that, man. It's not traveling the way it should be, man. And I'm like, what the fuck, bro? I was like, I'm staring at it right now. It's a plane. He was like, nah, that's something else, man. That's like UFO or that's the Russians or some shit. I'm like, what are you fucking smoking, man? I was like, bro, I'm looking at it. So that was the latest thing, but that was more of his experience rather than mine.
Okay. But on that topic, you've never seen anything in the sky that you're going, hang on, that's a bit weird. That's not like not an airplane or a helicopter or something. Never.
No.
No, fair enough.
What are your belief systems around that?
Yeah, that's a good question, Ray.
UFOs.
Let's go UFOs, yeah.
UFOs, I think, do the math. They're probably out there. You know, if you just look at a mathematical standpoint, like, why the fuck wouldn't they be? But in terms of here, I don't know. Like, I don't know why they wouldn't. Like, why don't they just show up? You know what I mean? But at the same time, I think I'm too busy to think of this shit anyway. Like, I'm just like, I don't really care if they show up or not. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do it if they do.
Yeah, do you want some photos? I'll film you if you want to.
Hey man, charge me.
Yo, land that craft again. Like,
No. Hey. And look, I know you guys have like come to Earth a couple of times for a little bit of a photo op and like a bit of filming and stuff like that. But for some reason,
here's my packages.
Every time you guys ask for a film package, it's filmed by a fucking potato. Like,
Yes, Ray. Yes, you're reading my mind right now.
I have professional photography and videography gear. Let me hook you up, my friend.
Yes.
I can rack focus like a king. Oh man.
start crying of how beautiful the image is.
Science, we have now breaking news that aliens cry.
Out their fingertips. Oh, man.
How the fuck did we come up with this shit, bro? For real.
I love it.
What have you seen here? Have you seen anything up here?
You had an experience actually thinking of it a couple of weeks ago. You saw something on the way home. And you pulled over and tried to film it, didn't you? It was like an orange orb or something that broke off.
My iPhone portrait mode went from fucking A quality to fucking it went potato, right?
I think I know what it is now. It's every time they've got like a radar. So it's like, yes, fuck yeah, zoom. And I know I can film the moon from here and I can get it at like fucking 4K quality. You're zooming in. Like on the alien spaceship, they're just like translated to like, oh shit, they got the cameras out. Quick, get the potato ray gun. My phone turned into a fucking potato.
Yeah, it's like, we got panorama, we got Polaroid,
we got potato.
We've also got 4K, and we got potato mode.
Legit.
Damn it!
Yeah, you want to use this one when you see a UFO.
It's always the way,
honestly.
every time.
Like camera quality back from the early 2000s, eh? Nah, but honestly, man, so we literally just wrapped up an episode. And this would have been driving home about 11:15 at night. And I hate driving at night, man. I just get paranoid with shit like that. And I seen this, like, beaming light from, I'd say, Rollystone, Kalamunda kind of ways. So when you're driving down the Tonkin, you'll see the massive hills. It kind of looks like a wave at night. Anyways, so I seen this like beam come over the hill, and I'm like, oh yeah, whatever, plane, cruising. And then I seen it split into two, right? And I'm like, okay, that's split into two now. That's just tripped me out. And he's only freaking 200 meters in front of me because we're both heading the same way, right?
But I'm blind at night time.
So I tried calling him, allegedly.
Drunk?
And I tried calling him allegedly, and then he didn't pick up, so I called Chris straight after.
Blind drunk. That's my car
driving.
Jesus Christ.
Did you guys just see the light flicker then, or was it just me? You guys
No.
see that? Okay, sorry, Joe.
It's night time. I'm blind. You're not fucking listening.
It's the tint on the windows, man. Damn, Paulie. Anyways, man, so I'm driving, trying to call Ray. I was like, whatever. I'm keeping an eye on this thing. Then I was like, right, I'm going to hit up Chris. what do you know? Chris answered straight away, bro, you alright? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine, man. I said, dude, you wouldn't believe what's happening right now. He's like, oh yeah, what's that? I said,
Like you shoot yourself again.
I was like, I think the McDonald's is running through me. No, I was like, yo, there was this light that flew over the hill and it split into twos and it's just like hovering. And he's like, you sure it's not a fucking plane? Because he's like, don't fuck with me right now. I said, nah, I'm generally swear on Nan's grave, this thing is fucking hovering and it's just falling.
Yeah,
And he's
I ran
like-
outside to see. I'm like,
And
I
he's
can't
like,
see shit,
all
man.
right. And he goes, explain the lights. He's like, if it's a plane, I'll know straight away. I was like, all right, whatever. I said, it's literally a weird orangey yellow, like not like headlights, but I don't know. It was like a dull kind of light. So I was like, I can't see no red beam or a blue beam like for a plane, right? So I was like, it's not that. And it was just hovering, but the two of them were like this. And then all of a sudden, this one on the left just fucking took off. Like K's in front, but you could still see it. Where this one was just still hovering. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. I don't understand. So at that point, I'm like talking to Chris and recording at the same time. Potato fucking footage. And then I zoom in and like, it just looked like a giant orb, man. And then as I stopped recording, I said, you probably won't be able to see it like very good, but I've got it on film. And then as I said that, they both disappeared. And that was it, right? I was just like, this is incredible. I don't know whether or not to believe this right now because I was like, was it planes? I don't know, man. But I witnessed it and that was my first actual encounter.
Sounds pretty fucking badass.
Yeah, bro. So I'm like, and this is all driving back home, bro. And it takes me 15, 20 minutes to get back from here, bro. And I was just like...
See, I'm half waiting for Luke here to be like, all right, were you in the car or outside the car? Yeah, I was in the car. Okay, well, what's probably happened is, right, the car behind you's headlights have come through your rear window, bounced off the reflection of your front windshield.
And then my phone torch comes on.
There is a thing that happens with any phone lens where it got into the full size. Like, they weren't two lights, it was just two cars driving off.
Aliens.
Yeah. That sounds pretty cool though. What were you feeling when you saw it?
A lot of adrenaline, man.
Jacked up?
Yeah, like I felt like, this is sick. Like,
Yeah.
I can't call anyone else right now because they're not going to believe me. And it's 11 o'clock at night and I'm like, fuck.
I can't remember who we had on the pod that night as well, because we were just talking about shit in the sky.
Yeah, who do?
Was it?
It wasn't Tristan because me and you were there. It was...
No, this was.
Oh, it was with...
Was it the Capone episode? I don't know.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was with Johnny and that, yeah. Because we just finished talking about Bob Lazar. And then I was like, I gotta go, boys. And then it was just like, that happened. I was like... And the fucking crazy thing is it wasn't just like a matter of a minute. Like, this was going on for like a fucking solid 5 minutes.
Yeah, wow. That's pretty crazy.
So I was like, I'm not making this shit up, bro. Like, I'm on the phone. I'm telling them everything that's happening right now. I'm standing in the corner of my eye while I'm still trying to drive. Like, thank God there wasn't that much cars on the road. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that was my experience, but it was pretty badass. So.
I know there have been a few weird sightings in Perth lately. I follow, there's a Facebook page like UFO Perth sightings and stuff. Especially Baldivis has been a bit of a weird hotspot for that lately too, eh? A lot of people sending videos in from Baldivis area, so yeah, just check out that page, guys. UFO sightings Perth. You might find some interesting shit on
Some punk kid with like a green laser light.
Yeah. yeah. Don't point them at planes, kids, either. That's a bad idea.
Yeah, fuck, man. I remember I had one of those serious bloody lasers, but I never shined it in the sky. But I remember like getting warned by that. I was like, because they're illegal, hey?
Yeah, bro, big time. You can get like
the real like high quality ones. Yeah,
you get fined big time,
if you get caught shining those at like commercial aircrafts, you get in big trouble. Like,
yeah, wow.
Yeah, because you can fuck their trajectory or whatever. That's not the right word. Trajectory.
Imagine if you were on like one of those planes, man. You went down, you died because some little kid was like shining his laser.
Oh.
I would be so blown up, eh?
That's hectic. Yeah. Oh,
Shit.
You can now control the plane with the laser. You're like,
Oh man.
don't say that.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, those and BB guns were hot property back in the day. That's for sure.
Oh, man, the pellet and baby guns, they were hectic, bro. Oh,
What's the new ones with the
gel guns.
the gelatin gun ball gelatin ball guns? They're banned now, aren't they? Like
yeah.
Oh yeah.
See,
yeah.
people are still
guns.
trying to sell them on marketplace, but calling them Nerf guns.
Oh really? Man, have you seen what these guys can do with their Nerf guns? Like, have you seen like these engineered like Nerf guys where like they would buy all this Nerf stuff and they'll just like make all these fucking gangster guns out of Nerf? Have you seen that before?
Yeah.
It's like in
Well, like,
America,
kind of,
bro.
like-
And they spray them and do them, like make them look all like intricate and cool.
yeah,
like,
but I'm pretty sure they can fire a weapon. Like it's a weapon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've seen it in America. Like they're all, of course, they're in the fucking America.
Oh, of course,
like
yeah.
Texas or some shit. But like they're just making some gangster fucking weapons from it. I'm like, that's fucking crazy, man.
insane.
And like, I'm pretty sure they do contests and like stuff. But I'm like, man,
Yeah.
it's such a funny thing.
That's dope. No, for nothing.
I've seen the one with the-
a Nerf gun.
Have you, and what about the adverts? Have you guys seen the adverts? Like the guys who are like promoting that shit, they're like 13, 14 years old, like way too old. Have you seen an advert?
Yeah,
bro?
yeah.
It's so funny, man.
Not even kids anymore. Man.
They're like just,
You have to be like 12 and up to get a Nerf gun now.
Mind you, you think kids these days are like, who's playing with toys? I want a fucking iPad.
yeah, pretty much.
yeah.
You don't have the latest Xbox? Get out of my
Yeah.
house.
Man, like who's got the latest PlayStation? Let's
Yeah.
talk about real fucking shit. And how about UFOs? Why don't we have a PlayStation 5, bro?
Yeah.
You want to talk about conspiracies? Nah, just joking. But like,
I mean, it's surely in the works, right?
I'm just like, but does anyone have one?
Yeah, we got ours
Oh,
on
you got
release day. Yeah,
Fuck. Well, I haven't
We're
seen
one
one.
of those. Haven't you?
No, I haven't. To be honest, to this day, I still don't know if they exist.
I'll show you one after the show.
I'm just like,
It's gigantic, dude.
I was-
It's like this big.
really?
Yeah.
yeah.
I was
You
like-
showed it to me. I'm like, what the fuck have you bought?
Hey, it wasn't me. Amy goes, my wife says to me, she goes, oh, I've pre-ordered you a PS5. I'm like,
Oh, so
okay.
you were organized then.
How much did it cost?
It's like $700.
So he has a $700 Netflix player.
My wife is the gamer. I'm not really a
Literally
gamer.
is.
I use my Nintendo Switch more than I play the PlayStation.
Fuck
But
Nintendo.
anyway, I'm like, you just want this because you want a game on it. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm
true.
cool with it either way, but I didn't really care if we got one or not, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, it is pretty cool, and it is responsive like instantly.
Yeah.
Everything loads super fast.
That SSD, boy.
Yeah, it's great. It's cool. But the fucking console is huge.
It's like a suitcase, bro.
I wonder why.
Like you think they started from this? Let's go back in time here. See my Spider-Man reflexes right there, people. The OG PS1 right here, and the PS5 is like literally like 3 of these. It's fucking massive. Like,
Wow.
yeah, I didn't expect it to be that big. I'm like, holy shit, the PS5 is massive, but it's cool. Cool.
Yeah, I was just like speaking to my mate. I was like, man, like I've never seen anyone actually got one. And I was like, does anyone know who's got one? And they were like, no, we don't know. I was like, does it even exist, man? Like, I was like, they're just fucking with us. Like, I completely forgot it. But when did you get it? You got it like what, a year ago or something like that?
I think they released like mid or late last year or something like
It
that.
was, early last year, I think.
And they still haven't got like a second release.
I think it was part of the Backstreet Boys reunion tour.
Yeah, they've started
they were
doing
handing
more
them out.
releases.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's brother, he works away. He just got his, and it just landed at his mum's place.
Yeah, my mate's been complaining. Jake's been complaining about it all this
Yeah.
time. I'm like, for fuck's sake. I'm like, well,
You
just
have
get
to
an
order it
Xbox.
and
He's
like-
like, no way. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, gamer heads, eh? One or the other.
Speaking of games, I heard from someone I work with saying one of my favorite games from like PS3 back in the day. There was a game called Dead Space.
Yeah.
Apparently, they're going to be re-releasing it on the PS5, which I'm pretty excited about.
Oh,
I'm
shit,
not
that game
I'm
was
not a huge
dope.
gamer, but I love those games. It's a horrifying, terrifying, awesome sci-fi horror game. And this, yeah, if it comes out on PS5, which I'm hoping it does, if it's not just a shitty room or whatever, I'll definitely be getting on board that
I have
again.
an idea.
Getting on board
if
to
that,
play that again.
comes out as a game, I've got an idea for that based on like our plans. Like
Yeah.
Jakey was saying before, we've got some ideas on what we want to do. I think that'll be cool.
Hell yeah.
We're not giving anything away.
All right. We went down a rabbit hole. Let's
we
get back on track. Let's get back on track.
climb back out of
Sorry,
this.
guests and hosts and listeners and all the rest of them. Luke, oh man,
Hard to edit out.
what I like to ask a lot of the guests when they come on. Now, I'm going to put you in a scenario, and then I'll let you take on board what
Let's do it.
you want to go about. You got a couple of minutes to live, right? And let's say you're on your deathbed,
Yeah.
right? And you want to share your final words to whether it be your loved ones or for the world to know what you last said to them. What are your words of wisdom, and why are you about to say what you're about to say?
Oh man.
So if you wanted to impact one
your
person
time.
or the world,
Put me on the spot. Jeez.
what would it be, my man?
Oh man. I'm just thinking.
Or
Like,
would you record it?
probably wouldn't record it. Just because like that'd be that'd be fucked up footage. But
that would be actually yeah.
just like no, I'm not gonna say.
Don't say that.
Jesus. No. We added that.
Man, I don't know. Like, I would honestly, if I only had a couple minutes to live, like, it would literally just be like, all right, cool. I'll just tell my family. I mean, it's probably a boring answer. Just tell my family, yeah, love them, shit like that. And I'll probably go in each individual person and kind of say what I'm proud of, what they've accomplished with them. And then from there, I would just be like, get fucked. No, just
fuck the haters, bitch.
yeah.
All right, but with the words of wisdom, you know, how would you want to leave with an impact? Like, what would be your motto?
Yeah, 100%. So, like, I would definitely just say, like, develop yourself and, like, invest time into you. You know, don't invest time into, like, shit that doesn't matter. Invest time into you, because once you start investing in yourself, that's when you're going to start seeing real returns. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of people forget to look at themselves and be like, cool, like, because when I was going through high school, man, like I honestly thought I was dumb as dog shit. And I was like, man, like I can't accomplish anything. It wasn't until I changed my belief system, and that's when everything started changing for me. And it was like, dude, anyone can do anything. You just got to like believe in yourself and actually push the fucking boundaries for yourself. So I guess what I would say is like inspire someone to look inside themselves and develop themselves to know that they can accomplish anything. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, man. I respect that, bro.
Wow.
That's
man.
That's
Love
so
it.
sick, and it's real. It's real, man. And I think a lot of people need to start realizing that. And if they already haven't, like, if they don't believe in themselves, like, yeah, take a step back and actually look at the small wins, appreciate the small wins, and understand that, like, you can be anything if you just put your mind to it.
100%, man.
Yeah.
And it's like especially schooling systems, man, like they kind of like fucking box you in and like, man, if you can't do this, if your grammar's not good, if you're not good at math, you're gonna be shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you get
They're consistently knocking you down.
100%. And like I did tutoring for so long. So I did speech therapy, couldn't talk properly. I couldn't read properly, like dyslexia, like, you know, couldn't spell, couldn't write.
Yeah.
And like I was constantly reminded of how dumb I was, like every week. And I know like my parents was like, man, like we want to get you better, but they didn't realize what they were actually really doing was they were cementing a belief in myself that I was like, fuck, well, I'm dumb. I should just play sport. And that's when I really started excelling in sport. Yeah. Because I was like, well, fuck, if I can't beat you in the classroom, I'll beat you out in this field.
In the field, yeah.
So I guess like, that schooling system can really box people in.
It does, 100%, man. Yep.
Mental games, messes with your head.
You either do it this way or we'll force you to do it this way, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think like there's a lot of people, like I don't know if Joe Rogan spoke about this, but I think that like the schooling system's kind of like they're opening up to new ideas.
I think so. Yeah.
You'd hope so.
Well,
Teach kids how to do tax returns. Teach kids about trades or
savings.
or learning how to develop yourself with the career wise, not just stupid shit that you're not going to fucking use, like or learning
100%.
about history that doesn't need to be talked about. Learn about real history, and be real about your teaching and not just stupid shit that you're not going to actually use. Like
100%, dude. Like I remember
real life skills.
There was one class I remember in high school where there was like this one time that this teacher, like S&E teacher, was trying to tell us about like compound interest, and I was like, this is actually fucking useful. And they were talking about tax and stuff, and I'm like, why isn't every class like this?
doing this.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, so this is what like a business looks like. This is what an entrepreneur is. And it was like really going in depth with it. I was like, man, like, why the fuck am I learning about a plateau, like the hills, when I could be learning about this stuff?
100%.
The stuff I'm going to need as soon as I leave this place.
Yeah.
Like learning real life skills to help me when I'm an adult.
Yeah.
An adult.
Yeah, I think like
Sorry.
Obviously everything's all needed and stuff, like for lawyers and doctors and stuff, like 100% they need that sort of stuff. But
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely.
But most of that stuff gets learnt in uni anyways.
Yeah.
You know, like what does learning the inside of a fucking triangle or a fucking triangular prism, if that's what it's fucking called, a pyramid. Fuck me. Like a fucking okay, a triangle prism is a triangle like a fucking Toblerone. Okay, that's a triangle prism. A pyramid is triangle, a four-sided triangle.
Really?
Not a four-sided triangle.
Bottom,
that's a square.
But the bottom's a square. Yeah, the bottom's a square. Yeah.
Yeah. A triangle prism would be like a cube prism, which would be basically a fucking rectangular box.
Yep.
But a triangle prism would
A
be
rectangular
a triangle.
pyramid. Yeah.
So look, you're working.
That's pretty hectic. I didn't know any of that.
I'm pretty sure. At least that's what I'm going to say. I'm correct.
I don't know about you, but I want to eat some Toblerone now.
Yeah, I know.
The
right?
Matrix.
What if I told
What
you?
screams like I've been on holiday is that big fucking Toblerone.
Oh,
Like,
Yeah, bro.
Duty free, boy.
oh, it's like that meme that's going around. Like, tell me you went traveling without telling me you went traveling. It's like the big-
It's a big ass Toblerone.
Man, on the topic of Toblerone, I almost bought that one of those big fuck off ones that they have in the what I call the buy stupid shit aisle, which is basically
It's a fucking
At the reject, is it at the reject shop?
no, the checkout lineup queue where
yes.
they put all the stupid shit where you're like, oh, and you kind of get tempted to buy more stupid
The
shit.
impulse
the big one
section.
was there.
The big one, it was the Toblerone, and on. That's what it says on the packet.
What? How big was this line thing, man? No, I mean like to get
For
in.
the listeners, bro. Jesus Christ, bro.
Oh, for the listener,
Yeah, he's like,
for the listeners, about this big.
It's about this big. God damn it.
sakes, we've been over this.
About as long as my arm.
Wait, did it go quiet for a second? Ray's like, sorry, bro, keep going.
Yeah.
Well, the aisle was I don't know why. It was during the middle of the fucking day, which made me also confused because why the fuck are there so many people there? I only went because I had a break in the middle of the day, so that's why I went. Why are there so many people there unless they're on
Crazy,
break?
right? Eh?
It's weird. It's weird. So weird. Conspiracies.
You have like a day off from work and like you go to the shops and like
There's so many
everyone's
people.
there, and I'm like, what is everyone doing? Like,
Yeah.
Does anyone
am
have a job?
Yeah.
How are these people not at work, and how are they not at work and have money
to
to
spend?
be here?
Matrix.
Anyways, going back to what I wanted to ask you a little bit as well, which we'll kind of skip through. I had a few things I wanted to ask, but I think the main thing I wanted to ask is with your profession, and then with what we do with the podcast, is we do get a lot of people on to either come on and share their story if they've got a cool story to share that might benefit someone else, or we have people that own businesses or are looking at owning businesses or are fresh in the business world, right? And I know like a couple of my friends have either started their own mechanic businesses. Shout out Farry and VCM Automotive. I know Paulie B, for instance, he's got his own tinting business, Tint My Motor. And they've had to go down the social media route as well, which is where they found most of their success. I guess for you, with your experience in the social area, what are some ins and outs, I guess, in terms of like the good, the bad, and then maybe besides hiring you, your top three, I guess, points,
Yeah, like tips to kind of
tips when starting out in that area.
100%. So like someone who's already got a business, hey?
Yeah, already got a business, and they're like, shit, I've got to start advertising. You know, most people do the typical thing. They'll put up a social media post on their personal profile, and then they'll reshare their business profile, and then they'll put up stuff in Marketplace,
Yeah.
or like the buy and sell groups and stuff like that.
What I would do, like first off, is with any business and any marketing strategies, you got to do your market research, right? So that would be my biggest point. Would be okay, cool. Like Paul, for example, right? Like I know Paul.
Yeah.
I would look at all right, who's dominating in my industry on social media and look at their marketing and like,
they're
cool,
doing.
how are they doing this? What are they doing?
Yeah.
From there, like you can kind of base a pretty good content strategy from that because if they are successful, whatever got them to be successful, they're obviously it's
They're
working,
doing it.
right?
Yeah.
So like that's a super easy way to learn like that. Like you can go from 0 to 100 real quick from just literally doing market research. Cool. From there, it's like, okay, once you've kind of implemented that and you've seen kind of a rough kind of content strategy you want to implement, it's then obviously deploying it and looking at your resources. Okay, whatever they are pushing, and especially when like say Tint, for example, you want to have a look at your top competitors, where are they at, and you really want to deep dive into your audience base. You know what I mean? Like, okay, who's investing into Tint? Is it, you know, basic guys who like Skylines, for example, right? Or is it like, dude, I don't know anything about cars.
Yeah.
But like, is it patrols or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And like looking at that
course.
demographic and be like, cool, where are they hanging out, man? You know,
Yeah.
where are the biggest groups of these people? Because if you can get like a fucking Skyline Facebook group and you're fucking posting your 6 Skyline tints in there, man, you're gonna get fucking business, bro.
Hell yeah.
hell
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
understanding what does the market want in terms of content and seeing where they're at and then delivering it. And that's all you need to do. You know what I mean?
Simple.
Yeah. So from that's like step 1, step 2 is finding him and actually reaching out to him.
Yeah.
Because the biggest thing is like with social media and marketing, all you needed, there's 2 strategies, right? Like, which is simple. It's like people ask me all the time, how do I grow on socials, or how do I get more business in socials? It's like, cool. All you really need to do to simplify it is create good content and get that content seen by the right people.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
if
good
you
points,
break
man.
it down to the most dumbest thing, create good content and get it seen by the right
Get
people.
it seen. Yeah. for
So
sure.
it's like, that's what we've already done in the first 2 steps. Number 3, I would honestly say, don't sleep on like learning marketing and sales. Like being able to communicate and getting out of the mindset of like, oh, I'm doing social media, people should come to me. It's like, cool, like that's just the base, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's the foundations.
Yeah.
You still need to get them over here. Unless you want to pay for advertising, then you can do that. But in terms of organically, like if I was to start a tinting business tomorrow, like we could probably get a couple of guys by the weekend. You know what I mean? Like it's literally just set up the page and look for people who need a problem or have a problem to be solved.
Yeah.
So that would be my next one. Would be
Quite literally
be
what you were saying
proactive.
before about the Toblerone. It's like, tell them that they should be buying from you without telling them that they should be buying from you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 100%.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay.
You should make a shirt with that.
There you go.
But yeah, it's literally like I think that's the biggest thing, and obviously not shying away from it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think. Correct me if you think I'm wrong, or if you have a different view to this. But I think a lot of people think that sales and marketing is a little bit like the oily kind of yucky kind
Snake
of area.
oil kind of shit.
Yeah, because it's like that's what it used to be. You know, back in like the 90s and stuff like that, it was just all like, you want to buy a house? No. Next minute you're walking out with a mortgage. Like,
You fucking got you, mate. High interest rates, fuck yeah. Sorry, I thought.
but like nowadays, it's actually more customer focused. It's actually like, okay, what do you want? And
yes,
how does what you're selling or what you're trying to sell, whatever the product, service, thing, has it solved that person's issue? You know, and actually diving a little deeper. Okay, why does that person? What is this going to do for that person? How's it going to make that person feel?
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I think social media has completely changed the game of
100%.
say because back in the 90s, the 80s with the sales guys, like the sleazy sales guys, you would always kind of have an idea in your mind what a sleazy sales guy would look like. If they fucked someone over, if they fucked Bob Jane down the road, he could probably tell maybe 4 or 5 people. But nowadays, he can tell everyone online.
Millions.
Yep.
So that's changed the environment and the playing field of selling and marketing.
Yeah.
So you can't just go out and fuck one person, because if you fuck one person, they give you a bad Google review, you're going down.
Yeah, the
You know what I
outreach
mean?
is
Yeah.
like infinite now.
Yeah.
It's scary.
So
Yeah.
it's like it's now lifted the game in the height of like, okay, cool, we all have to make sure we're all good in a sense. Now, don't get me wrong, there's still some sleazy sales guy out there, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But I think all the time when someone's starting a business, and including me, was like, oh, I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to be salesy.
Yeah.
But if at the end of the day, you need to make the bread and you need to pay bills, like you just need to make sure that your business survives. How does it survive? Is through marketing and sales.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Now, I'm not saying like go out and sell something that no one needs, but I'm saying if someone comes to you and say, hey, I'm interested, why not solve their problem?
Yeah.
Health and fitness, right? Perfect example. I get a lot of personal trainers, gym owners coming up and like, oh, we don't want to be selling, like salesy. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you selling, man? You're selling fucking like a better life. You're selling more energy. You're selling 5 years to play with their grandkids, bro. What the fuck do you have to be ashamed about that for? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, don't hotbox them, but at the same time, it's like, bro, like, do you want me to get rid of your diabetes or like whatever it is, or your
Chris is like, yes.
I'm listening.
But it's like, hey man, do you want to feel more confident?
Yeah.
Do you want to lose your virginity? Because that's a fucking real thing.
Oh yeah.
It is.
It's
man.
a real fucking
100%.
thing, bro. Like there's dudes who come to the gym and they're like I just want interest from girls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hey man, we can do that. Do you
Yeah.
want that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like,
It is. Yeah.
but you know, don't go around selling fucking shitty cars and stuff like that. Like,
Oh yeah.
but I think like a lot of people shy away from the sales because they're like, I don't want to be that guy. Because even my dad was constantly telling me, man, don't like those fucking sleazy sales guys. So I kind of got in my mind, I was like, I don't want to be a salesman. But now it's like, dude, with my business, that's all I'm doing.
Oh god, yeah. Yeah.
Marketing and sales, because that's the only 2 things that bring in the business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you do it right, you won't even feel like you're selling.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you could be the best tinter, the best videographer, the best PT, but if no one knows, bro,
No one's won.
No one's gone by it.
You ain't shit.
100%.
You ain't shit.
Have you heard of Grant Cardone before?
Yeah.
Yeah, Grant Cardone, right?
Yeah,
So
man.
I love his saying where it's like, bro, like the best product doesn't sell the most. It's the most promoted product that
Yeah.
sells
Sells
the
the
most.
Yep. Yep. Big facts.
And on that note of self-promoting, what is happening in the future? What do you see? What do you want for the future? What
happening for Luke?
are the big plans? What do you want? What do you want?
What do I want? Okay, so like, I guess moving forward, like we were expanding the team here in Perth to grow to, you know, we want to be that local video photography, social media marketing, like all that sort of thing. Like in terms of digital, we want to be it. We don't want to do websites, but we want to be the go-to guy. Like you probably have you heard of like you listen to Nova and stuff like that, or
Yeah.
you know what PWD.
Yep.
Like those big guys, like they got this fucking trash advert out now. Like, have you heard it? It's like this annoying guy. He's like, we had to tell them to turn the ad off, and I'm just like, fucking get this cunt off this fucking radio, because they're like they hired these guys to do their marketing. They're like, it was so good that we had to turn it off, and I'm like, who's doing this voiceover, man? But
Not Chris.
yeah, no, Chris, man, I need to get you down. But
Hell yeah.
but yeah, so we want to expand here and then build the team over in Melbourne and like Sydney and stuff like that to kind of be a national wide kind of thing. And then we have the Social Strong Media, which is the training and education side of things. We want to branch out. We're getting a lot of interest now in America to
right.
go over and train some of those guys over there.
Seminars.
So yeah, so it's
Sweet.
just like understanding like where we want to go. Like Luke Symonds is in the middle of like these two businesses, but the training and education is solely, I guess, me, where now I'm trying to build the leading socials to somewhere where I'm not needed.
Yeah.
Because that's the
Right.
biggest thing, right? Is like I didn't want a job, I wanted a business to run by itself and to sustain itself.
Yeah.
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 So now you got to get other little guys on to do your videos, do your workshops, do your seminars.
Yeah, so we're in the process now. We just hired like another videographer to this today. Actually, today we did the interviews as well. So we're expanding, but it's like literally, and these guys are fucking good, man. I didn't go to uni, man, but these guys are coming out of like UWA and shit, and I'm doing the interview, man. I'm like, fuck, bro, you're way more qualified than me.
You got the job, buddy.
They're like, yeah, I've done like worked on like this. The one of the main guys, the lead videographer now, like he worked on like the reality shows of like Love Island and stuff. Like he was doing all of that stuff.
what? Jeez.
This one girl that we brought on today, like she's written a script that's been on Netflix, bro. Fucking crazy,
Holy
bro.
shit.
And I was like, she was like, yeah, I'm really good at scripts as well. Like I've got 3 movies out, and like you can watch this one on Netflix now. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah. I'm sorry,
Right.
You lost?
Yeah.
No, that's amazing,
Yeah.
bro.
But it's like, yeah, just finding the right people, I guess, for the right roles. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it, man.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, we wish you all the best with all of that. And
Man, thank you.
Hands down.
like I said, I've been following you for a while, and we all follow you now, and you know we're excited to kind of see.
Well, I'm excited to see
exploding.
how massive you guys go with this, man. Because like honestly, bro, like what you guys are doing now, and like, you know, I started following when you first started out. Messaged Jakey like fucking ages ago.
Yeah.
But, like I thought it was sick, man, what you guys were doing, man. Because like it's hard to like, especially from me and Jakey coming from like the same school. Like there's not many other people from that era like who were doing stuff like this, bro.
Yeah,
So when I see it, I'm like, man, that's fucking gangster.
exciting.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
you want to be around those people who are doing similar things. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. And that's what like I find encourages me and gives me hunger, and it gives these guys hunger too, because I keep reminding us that like, yo, there's not a lot of people doing this, man. Like, let's keep going. Let's keep finding new ways, and let's just keep being creative, man. And I love being a creator. And Chris and Ray, I think you could say the same, I guess. Man.
absolutely.
Sure, keep fueling the fire.
Yeah, 100%, man. It's a passion, and I love it, man. And it doesn't feel like it's a chore or a job, you know. Oh, yeah, yeah. I guess you could say it's not a job, really, but it is a little bit.
It's a job, but in the technical word,
That you want to have.
the technical essence of the word, it's a job, but it's like we love doing it. You know?
Yeah.
like
And
we're-
you guys have complete control. Like, that's
Yeah.
the sick thing.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
yeah, it's dope. Yeah,
and like we're working, but you know, once these headphones are on, it doesn't feel like we're working.
No.
You know, and even when we're editing, like, you know, sitting down, listening through it all, like I was saying before we got on air, it's like I'm laughing my ass off alone in the back room of my house. Like, and my girlfriend's probably in the lounge room going like, all she can hear is like in the background, like
legit.
me losing my shit at shit that I forgot we said on here. You know, it's a fucking joy to do.
Making memories.
Yeah, you're making memories. So, yeah,
Absolutely.
it's all good. But no, man. We come to that time of the show. Obviously, we don't want to take up your entire night. You've got your fiance to get back to, I suppose, and business to run at this hour, 7:30 at night.
Hey.
I guess as a quick sign off, what do you got coming up in the near future? Anything cool, or where can people find you if they want to learn about socials or get your expertise? And
100%, man. So I guess the way they can find me is they just search in like Luke Symonds, Symonds, not Symonds. So,
Symonds.
and my fucking address will show up pretty much because like I had to register, like my business was originally like Luke Symonds, and then like fucking when you register a business, you have to. When I was working from home, I had to register my home so that anyone. I'm on Uber Eats, bro. Like you look at where I'm at, it's like Luke Symonds is like on Uber Eats, like you're guys driving down the road, he's like passing Luke Symonds now. I'm just like fuck. It's so funny. So like I'm moving house. Don't worry. So if anyone's listening to this, like, and you egg my house, don't worry, bro. I'm moving. But yeah, like, it's funny. So anyway, yeah. But you can just check me out there, and hit me up, send me a message if you have any questions as well. Like, let me know. In terms of future, yeah, like I said, just working towards that goal.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Thank you guys for having me, man. It was good
Dude,
fun.
it's been an absolute pleasure, man.
Hell yeah, man.
We just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, Chris's heart, and Ray's heart, man. We appreciate you. And yeah, man, it's just been an absolute pleasure having you on, bro.
Thank you. I hope I see some UFOs when I'm driving out.
You
I'll
might,
call
man.
Chris up. I'm like, bro, you won't believe this.
And if you do,
Potato quality.
and if you do,
Bro, why is this a fucking potato now?
and if you do see a potato flying around in the sky, you report it here to the dudes first.
Some guy throwing potatoes across Tonkin Highway.
But on that note, Luke, we wish you all the best, mate, and we hope all your dreams come true and all things business-wise just fucking, meet all your expectations and further, man. And we wish you all the best, and we just want to say thank you again for coming on tonight.
We love you, bro. We
Thanks,
appreciate you,
boys.
bro. And thank you for coming on, man.
Cheers, boys. Appreciate it.
That's a wrap for
Legend.
episode 30 of Dudes of the Round Table.
Let's go.
Signing off.
Stay groovy.
Peace, baby.